Hey everyone, it's Sarah. Today I'm going to be talking about 11 ways that you can become a better writer. The first one is to write every day. This is pretty self-explanatory. Some of you may get a little overwhelmed about the idea of writing, profound prose every day, but it really doesn't have to be that. Even if you just get up and write for 10 minutes, even if you just keep a journal and write in your journal every day, or scratch down a few ideas for a poem or a story or anything like that, all writing is good. It's still practice. Even if you are writing an email, maybe just spend a little more time thinking about how you can craft it and express your ideas. All of that counts. The second thing you want to do is to read as much as you can. Now, some people are going to tell you that you need to be reading thought-provoking literary fiction, and that is definitely helpful. You should read books like that. However, I think you can also learn from any type of book. Even if a book is badly written, look at it and ask yourself why it's not really working for you. Is the pacing slow? Does the author use way too many adverbs? What's going on? You can learn something from any book, no matter how well written it is. The third thing you want to do is always be working on your craft. Now, this might mean taking some writing workshops or lectures or classes. It might be something as informal as reading a blog about writing every day, or joining a mailing list that gives you a daily writing prompt, or anything like that. It might even just be reading some craft books. I'll leave a list down below to my favorite books about writing. But the point is, you want to make sure you're working on your craft. The fourth thing you want to do is try different approaches. So, for example, if you never use an outline, maybe try using an outline to see if you can write a story that way. Or if you always write at your house, maybe try going to the coffee shop and writing a little bit. If you write on a computer, maybe try writing by hand a little bit. If you write by hand, try writing on the computer. Sometimes it just helps to shake up your routine and try things a different way. The fifth thing you want to do is to read your work aloud. Sometimes when we write something, we notice flaws about it when we read it aloud that we wouldn't notice just by reading it on the page. Especially for dialogue, sometimes you read something aloud and it just doesn't sound right. Sometimes when you read things aloud, you realize that you're repeating words a lot. It can just be helpful. The sixth thing that you want to do is keep a notebook or voice recorder with you at all times. This helps because you can jot down your ideas that come to you. If you hear someone say something and it gives you an idea for an interesting piece of dialogue or an interesting storyline, it's always good to just write down these things as they come to you. Even if you're just, sitting in rush hour and you're recording on your phone an idea for a poem. The people next to you might look at you weird, but don't worry about them. The seventh tip is to join a writing group. You can join a group online. You can find a writing group in your area. Meetup.com has a lot of great writing groups around. If there aren't any around your area, you can always start one. It's really important to be in a community of writers, and you can really learn a lot from other people who are going through the same kind of journey that you're going through. The eighth tip is to experience art. This could be going to an art museum, going to see a symphony performance, going to the dive bar and seeing the indie band that you don't know. It could be seeing a film or a play. It could even be just going to the library or the bookstore and flipping through the art books and looking at different photographs or works of art. There are tons of ways to do this. If you don't have a lot of money, there are always free events and exhibits that you can check out. Point is that these different types of artistic experiences can sometimes inspire you in ways that you wouldn't have been inspired otherwise. You may get an idea for a story just by looking at a painting. The 9th tip is to get feedback. Now, this could be from your writing group that you join. You could find a critique partner or a beta reader that will read your novel and give you feedback. There are tons of places online where you can go and get feedback from other readers and writers. If you take a class, your professor or teacher will give you feedback. The point is, it's good to get your writing in the hands of other people who can give you some honest opinions and thoughts about your work. Number 10 is know when to rest. Now, this doesn't mean don't write, for 2 weeks. It means when you finished that first draft of your novel, maybe put it aside for 2 weeks and then come back to it when you're ready to revise so that you have a fresh perspective on it. Now, this doesn't mean you don't have to write at all during that time, but maybe you just work on some poetry, a short story, some shorter things, or just journal every day, something like that, so that you can give yourself enough time to come back to something with new eyes. You almost want to forget a lot of what you wrote so that when you go back to it to revise, you can kind of read it more objectively. And number 11 is to take the advice that works for you. So when you are going online and reading blogs about writing or watching videos like this one, or when you are taking a class, or even when you're getting feedback on your novel from a critique partner or beta reader, the important thing is that everyone's opinions and thoughts are going to be subjective. So if one of the suggestions that's given to you is really helpful for you and it inspires you to keep writing or to revise or to think about things in a new way, then that's great. You should use it. But if one of the rules that people give you or pieces of advice that someone gives you about your writing doesn't resonate with you, then feel free to ignore it. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all different people and we all have different opinions about writing. It is a very subjective art form and there are no really rules that apply to every situation or every writer. Alright, that's it. 11 ways to become a better writer. If you are interested in more of these writing videos, I'm going to start doing them once a week. I'll have more information about that next week. So you definitely want to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of this type of thing. You can check out my writing blog. I will leave a link for that down below. There's a lot of good resources there that you can check out. And there's also a mailing list that you can join of daily writing thoughts. Sometimes these are writing prompts, sometimes they are tips about writing, sometimes it's just an inspirational quote or, a blog post that I find that I want to share with you guys. It could be any of the above. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely go and sign up for my mailing list. Alright, thanks for watching and I will see you guys next time.